Okay, hi, Bravo students. We are in your book. We are in lesson 10. I'm not quite sure what page we're on, somewhere around 70 or 80, 82, somewhere around there. And remember, we did the question in class last week about, we did the warm-up question about the ruler and then the question about the feet, right? So we're going to turn the page and we're going to do this next question. So the question says, here is a scale drawing of a playground. Now what you're going to need is a ruler to measure these things, okay? We have sides A, B, C, and D, and it says the scale is 1 centimeter represents 30 meters, 1 centimeter to 30 meters. So what you're going to need to do is to measure those sides, all right? And we're going to make ourselves a T-chart. We can draw it right here. Make a T-chart just like we did in class. And remember what we put in there is we put the scale and then the actual. And our scale is in centimeters. I'll write that up here. And our actual playground is in meters, measured in meters. So let's see, our scale is 1 to 30. And I can find my scale factor. I know I go from here to here by multiplying by 30. So what I need you to do is use a ruler and measure these sides. How long is side A? How long is side B? How long is side C? And how long is side D? So find a ruler and measure those things. And I don't know what the answer is. I'm writing on my iPad, and my measurements on my iPad are going to be a little bit different than yours. But pause for a couple minutes, and let's put in our chart side A, side B, side C, and side D. So hit pause and measure those 4 things. All right, so I'm going to take a guess here. And again, I'm on the iPad. I have no idea what the correct answers are here. I'm going to measure, or I'm going to make a guess that side A was 2 centimeters long. Side B was also 2 centimeters long. Side C was, let's say, 4 centimeters. And side D was 6 centimeters. Again, these are my guesses, all right? They might be off. They could be very different numbers. I'm making a guess just so I can show you in the video here. So the question would be, how long are the actual sides on that playground? Well, if I multiply by 30, side A would be, times 30 would be 60 meters. Side B would be 60 meters. Side C would be 120 meters. And side D would be 180 meters. Okay, so I needed that information because this first question is going to ask me to make another scale drawing of the same playground, now at a new scale. Now it's saying make it at a scale of 1 centimeter to 20 meters. So guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to draw a new T-chart. And I have the same things in it. I have the scale, and I have the actual. But now what I know is the actual numbers. My new scale is 1 centimeter represents 20 meters. And my scale factor going from here to here is now times 20, right? From 1 to 20, 1 centimeter to 20 meters is times 20. But now I know side A. I already measured side A. I know that from up here, right? It's 60 meters. Side B also 60 meters. Side C 120 meters. And side D 180 meters. And again, use your own numbers there. I made those up. So what we need to do now is we need to scale down sides A, B, C, and D. So how do I go, if I'm going this way times 20, how do I go backwards? Well, we know that, right? We divide by 20. So when you do that, if you take that 60 and divide by 20, now you get 3. What's that 3 represent? Well, let's see, that was side A in the scale drawing. That means that my new side A, instead of being, let's say, 2 centimeters long, should be now 3 centimeters long. So you're going to do that for each of those sides. Figure out that the new length in centimeters, because now we know the actual length. We calculated that up here. Figure out those new lengths, and then draw that picture for me. See what it looks like. And then the important one here is, how do the 2 scale drawings compare? And you can draw that, that new picture down here maybe, and answer the question there, okay? So pause here, draw yourself that new playground at this different scale. And as we turn the page, I think this is in your book. It's in my book anyway. It says, here's a scale drawing of a window frame that uses a scale of 1 centimeter to 6 inches. And what we're going to do is, again, create another scale drawing of the same window frame that uses a scale of 1 centimeter to 12 inches. So we're going to do just what we did before. We're going to make a T-chart with the scale and the actual, starting with that 1 centimeter represents 6 inches. And what you're going to need to come up with is the lengths of those sides. So again, you're going to have to measure, right? Measure in inches, measure in centimeters. We know this is a rectangle, so we really only need to know this side and this side. So measure those two sides, come up with the actual length of that window frame, and then we need to make another scale, another T-chart with the scale and the actual. And now our scale is 1 centimeter represents 12 inches. So we're going to have to scale down this time. Okay, so draw that second picture frame and then compare the two of them. Which one happens to be bigger? So pause here and do that. And then we'll work on your homework problems. All right, so I'm in the homework problems. We're going to do number 1, and we're going to do number 2. Let's see, it says, here's a scale drawing of a swimming pool where 1 centimeter represents 1 meter, and there's my T-chart. I've got the scale and the actual in centimeters and meters. 1 centimeter represents 1 meter. And again, I need you to measure this, okay? I need you to measure it in centimeters, measure this rectangle. How long and how wide is the actual swimming pool? And I don't know exactly, again, I don't have my book in front of me on my iPad, and I can actually zoom in and out here, right? So as I measured these in centimeters, it would change. So do it in your book as best you can. It looks to me like the length is about twice the width, maybe, or the width is about twice the length. So put those numbers into the scale and figure out your length. So we need the number of centimeters. You're going to measure that with a ruler. Number of centimeters for this side and the number of centimeters for this side, and figure out the actual dimensions of the swimming pool. Pause here and do that. And then in part B, it says, will a scale drawing where 1 centimeter represents 2 meters be larger or smaller than this drawing? Well, the next question is going to ask us to draw it anyway, so we may as well do it now. We have the scale and the actual. And the actual, again, you're going to take from your numbers up above, okay? We know how big that real swimming pool is. Use those numbers, bring them down here, and then figure out what the scale measurements will be if our new scale is 1 centimeter represents 2 meters. Okay, and then it says, part C, make a drawing of the swimming pool as well. All right, so those T-charts can really help us see those numbers pretty easily. So pause here, do parts A, B, and C. Okay, and number 2 says a map of a park has a scale of 1 inch to 1,000 feet. Another map of the same park has a scale of 1 inch to 500 feet. Which map is larger? Explain or show your reasoning. So I want you to think about what we learned in the last couple of lessons. In this case, the scale got smaller, right? The scale went from 1 inch to 1,000 feet to 1 inch to 500 feet. So as the scale gets smaller, what's going to happen to the picture or to the map? So what we know, what we've learned, is that as the scale gets smaller, the picture would get larger. So when the question says which map is larger, we would know it would be this one. And our reasoning is what we took in our notes last week. As the scale gets smaller, we want to write it out in words because it does say explain or show your reasoning. As the scale gets smaller, the map gets bigger. But if you wanted to, you could make up some numbers for me. You could make up two T-charts and show me what happens, okay? All right, we're going to skip question number 3, and we're going to move on to question number 4. If quadrilateral Q is a scaled copy of quadrilateral P created with a scale factor of 3, what is the perimeter? Okay, we remember that perimeter means adding up all of those sides, right? So adding up those sides. Now we're going to make another scale copy of that with a scale factor of 3, which means it's 3 times as big, every side times 3. Come up with me for that new one, the perimeter of your quadrilateral Q, okay? And then for the last question here, triangle DEF is a scaled copy of ABC. For each of the following parts, identify the corresponding part of the triangle. So we've talked about these right from the beginning. Angle ABC, what's its corresponding angle in the other triangle? Now what I've noticed, a lot of you are saying things like this, A dash B dash C. When we're naming an angle, all we do is write the letters, okay? So we say A, B, C would correspond to angle D, E, F, okay? So there's no commas between them, there's no ands, there's no dashes, it's just those 3 letters in a row. All right, guys, so finish up that homework, and because of the map testing, we're just going to take it a little bit easy tomorrow. I'll have the answers for the homework for you tomorrow, and then we'll do something I hope kind of fun on Wednesday. All right, so check in tomorrow, finish this up. Bye-bye.